Hello and welcome to this midweek reflection for the week of June the 7th. I'm going to light the Christ candle as we begin today. This light that reminds us of the one who we sometimes call the Beloved. This one, this light that is within us and all around us, and reminds us that we too are the Beloved. This week, during our worship service on Sunday, people were invited to engage in a very simple spiritual practice each day this week, the practice of watering and being watered. Just to take a glass of water, to slowly drink it, to be aware of what's around you, and then to refill the glass of water and to offer it to another living being, another living thing, a plant, an animal, another person. I've been doing that in these days myself with my dog, and it has actually helped me to see and experience my dog in a different light. But as I was pouring that glass of water earlier today, I found myself thinking about another cup of water. Found myself thinking about cups in general, and a book that I've had on my shelf for some time called The Cup of Life by Joyce Rupp. In that book, Joyce Rupp invites us to think of our lives as a cup, each one of us a vessel with our own unique personalities and our own unique ways of being in the world. I've often led retreats where I have invited people at the beginning of the retreat to choose a cup. So I bring to the retreat a whole variety of different cups. And I invite people to choose a cup that speaks to them of themselves, and particularly of how their souls are, or how their spirits are, how their lives are as they come to the time of retreat. So as you come to this time today, if you were to imagine your life as a cup, or your spirit as a cup, what would that cup look like? Some of us will have cups with wide tops, kind of cup that you might have a lovely latte in, open, ready to receive. Some of our cups might be chipped, broken, cracked. Some of our cups might be delicate and fragile, or maybe a good solid pottery, very earthy, solid, well-fired cup. If you were to think of your life as a cup, what would that cup look like? I went into the thrift shop here at the church, and I went looking for a cup that might speak about how I feel my life, or my spirit, my soul is in these days. And I wasn't drawn to a cup at all, although there are lots of cups in there. I went to the thrift shop here at the church, and I found not a cup, but a pitcher. I was really drawn to this particular vessel and the way that it speaks to me of my life, open, ready to be filled, and also wanting and ready to pour myself out, to be filled and to be emptied. And this cup looks like it's been around for a while. I've been around for a while, and it has some tiny little cracks on the inside. So it's not big cracks, but there's some small cracks in there right now. And there's also a bit of a chip on the brim. So this vessel's been knocked around a little bit, but not too much. Just enough to have a bit of a chip taken out of it, but it's still functioning pretty well. What's your cup look like as you come to this time? And then Joyce Rapp, she has a number of different practices in her book, The Cup of Life, but she has one in which she invites people daily to hold their cups. And if you don't have an actual cup in front of you, maybe you do, maybe you have a cup of coffee with you or a cup of tea. If you do, take your cup and hold on to it, or just imagine that you are. And Joyce Rapp invites us to imagine that as we are gently holding our cups, that we are being held in the hands of God, that we are being held in holy hands, sacred hands, divine hands. And as we imagine ourselves being held in those hands, she invites us to listen to the words of the 43rd chapter of the book of Isaiah. This is a paraphrase from the 43rd chapter of Isaiah. Listen to these words now, for the meaning they hold for you on this day. You are precious in my sight. You are honored, and I love you. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I have called you by your name. You are mine. Should you pass through the sea, I will be with you. Or through the rivers, they will not swallow you up. Should you walk through the fire, you will not be scorched. For I am Yahweh, your God. I wonder what it is like for you to imagine yourself being held in the hands of God, in divine hands. Is it easy for you to sink into those hands? Is it difficult for you to trust that you can let go? That they've got you? That you really and truly will be caught and held? Can you just lean in to those hands and let them carry you? And are there things that you are feeling afraid of? The passage begins with, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you." But maybe you are afraid. And if you are, what are you afraid of? Does it feel like the sea is swirling around you, or that there are rivers about to swallow you up, or a fire that seems like it might burn or scorch you. If your life is feeling that way right now, is there a name that you can give to those rivers, or to those flames, or to that billowing sea? Sometimes when we can put a name on our fears, they don't necessarily go away. Or if we put a name on what's swirling around us or raging around us, it doesn't necessarily go away. But sometimes just to name something can take some of the fearful energy away from it and help it to seem not so big. Or perhaps just to help us to know what it is that we need help in overcoming, or help in facing, or help in trusting that we will be carried through. And then when we know what those things are, maybe we can allow ourselves to imagine ourselves being held, even though all those things are around us. And the more we're able to imagine ourselves being held, may we be more and more able to know that we can trust the one who holds us, that we can trust the presence that holds us. May that be so for you today and in these times. If trust and being solidly held is what you are most in need of. We close in song. Hold us in your grace, O God. Hold us in your grace. Hold us in your grace, O God. Hold us in your grace. Hold us in your grace. Hold us in your grace. Hold us in your grace, O God. Hold us in your grace. Hold us in your grace, O God. Hold us in your grace. Hold us in your grace. Hold us in your grace. Whatever your cup looks like or feels like on this day, may you know that you are held in grace, you are held in love, and you are held in a wisdom that is old as time itself. May it be so. Blessings on this day, and may we be blessed with wisdom and continued wonder as these sacred words and this sacred experience continues to sink deeply into our souls. Amen.